Hello, welcome to KMVC News. I am Santiago Salazar. One of the Missouri Valley College efforts that's gained a lot of steam during the last couple of years is the showcasing of undergraduate research, but some students aren't sure where to begin. KMVC's Clay DeVol reports on the honors program's special presentation, How to Break into Research as an Undergrad.
The Missouri Valley College Honors Program hosted a special guest speaker in the library on October 29th. Gavin Hester, a physicist from Colorado State University, was invited to speak to students about how to break into research as an undergraduate student. Hester shared his experiences with students and gave his advice on how to accomplish this goal. Hester says he realized he loved physics while taking a class in high school.
And then went and did my undergraduate degree in physics and started doing research, and that was really kind of where I found my passion for physics. So that led me to applying to graduate school, and now I can call myself a physicist and hopefully can continue doing that.
Hester says that a lot of people don't know exactly what a physicist actually does.
It can range from looking things at like astrophysics, so how stars and stuff interact, to what I do, which is looking at materials and trying to understand how the physics acts in them, and that kind of leads to our current technology, such as the transistor and computers and such.
Hester says the best advice he can give to students is to be willing to put yourself out there.
It's scary to apply to internships and go to other places to do new science that you've never learned, but it can also be very exciting and really broaden your horizons.
Hester says it's important for students to be their own advocate when searching for internships, and it's okay to fail if you don't succeed. Clay DeVol, KMVC News.
Hester also says it's important for students to find a happy balance between work, school, and the other aspects of their lives. Alpha Chi is a general honor society that requires students in their junior and senior years to be ranked in the top 10 of their respective class. Missouri Valley College Missouri Sigma chapter is one of the top Alpha Chi chapters in the state. KMVC's Jayla Jackson reports on the newest addition to an elite organization.
Missouri Valley College has an opportunity for students to be a part of an honor society that has been around since 1922. November 1st was their first award ceremony where students were able to become members of Alpha Chi. Chris Libby is one of the professors that was able to give out awards to the new students.
Alpha Chi is a general honor society, so that means it's for students in all academic disciplines. It's for juniors and seniors, so students have to be at least a junior or senior, and they have to rank in the top 10% of their class. So, you know, unlike Sigma Tau Delta, for example, which is an English honor society, this is an honor society for students who are English majors or biology or exercise science or business or whatever their major might be, as long as they rank in that top 10% of their junior or senior class.
The students that were inducted into the Alpha Chi knows that it takes a lot of work to get this award.
It's really rewarding. I'm a senior and I put in a lot of hard work to keep good grades, and it's more than just having good grades. It's being on top of your class. It's having good grades, having a good personality, having people notice that as well. So to be inducted into this is really an honor to me.
As a student athlete, you have to be well-rounded in the classroom and in the sport you play. Jayla Jackson, KMVC.
The Missouri Valley College Strategic Communications Department held a fundraiser for the Marshall Animal Shelter to collect donations in order to support local rescue animals in need. KMVC's Ben Boyer reports on the drive for donations to fill the truck.
The Strategic Communication Department has had a tradition of putting together an annual fundraiser for the Marshall Animal Shelter.
We've been working on this project since the beginning of the semester, basically. It's a yearly thing that the PR program does here at Missouri Valley. Nitro is our little PR puppy for today. He's from the Marshall Animal Shelter. He's up for adoption if anyone wants to take him. There is actually a handful of, I'm going to say like a couple week-old kittens there that want to be adopted. And then he's got a brother, and they were actually going to be put down last week. And the Marshall Animal Shelter, I think, picked them up instead, so they didn't have to get put down. The PR program, we conduct a PR campaign actually to help them advertise for this event, so we can get a couple $1,000s worth of donations for them.
Each year, the Stratcom department has raised an average of $3,000 to $5,000 in supplies and collect about $200 in donations.
You girls have a dog?
No. Do this for them. This is really big for them, and they really appreciate it. And you know, they look forward to this every year.
This year, the Strategic Communication Department helped 2 puppies get adopted, and in the future, they plan to do 2 fundraisers a year, one in October and the other in April. Ben Boyer, KMVC News.
This year's Field the Truck campaign raised almost $5,000 for the animal shelter. Students walking across Missouri Valley's quad can hear it: English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Dutch, and sometimes all of those languages are coming from the same person. KMVC's Marisa Mastrovalerio reports on the benefits of being multilingual at Valley.
The Missouri Valley College student body is represented by students from 51 countries and 2 U.S. territories. The diversity of students on campus makes the languages spoken on campus just as diverse. Sarah Moorline is a sophomore who quickly found herself comfortable around the many different languages spoken at Valley.
I know in total like 4 languages, 3 languages fluent, obviously German because I'm from Germany. I started really early to learn English. I started early to watch series in English and movies in English. And it's just like in high school we learn English all the time. We never stop actually. Spanish, I always loved the culture over there, and I just wanted to learn it. I like the language. It's actually my favorite language. So I just kept learning Spanish and French. I learned French 4 years in high school.
Sarah says her understanding of many languages benefits her not only socially but also inside the classroom.
For example, like when we're in maths, for example, like some terms are maybe more similar in another language than in English or in German, so I can just kind of assume what it means if I don't know the vocabulary. And that's, I think, the most help because I have like a broader understanding of languages.
International Student Coordinator Thomas Merlot also says being multilingual has benefits.
Once they get done with college, this is where it gets a real benefit. I mean, just using my past and my experience, it was very easy for me to find a job in France, and it was easy for me to find a job in the U.S. So I think it's just, you know, the more you know, the better it is for you. And it might not be in the classroom, but down the road it'll always pay off.
Marisa Mastrovalerio, KMVC News.
The Missouri Valley College men's soccer team begins its Heart of America Athletic Conference tournament title defense as the number 2 seed this year. And if both Central Methodist and Valley advance to the title game, the Vikings earn another berth to the national tournament. But first, Saturday's quarterfinal game against the Graceland Yellow Jackets, a team Valley beat 1-0 on the road in late September. The Vikings struck first in the game's 8th minute as Gianmarco Donini stole the ball from Graceland, moved to the center and put the ball past Graceland's Liam Smith to give the Vikings a 1-0 lead. 2 minutes later, after Graceland was whistled for a handball in the box, Javi Gladiador made the penalty kick to put Valley up by 2. And that would be neat. The Yellow Jacket put pressure on the Vikings the rest of the way, but could only put 2 of its 8 shots on the net. The Vikings keeper Patrick Iracunda earned the shootout, and the Vikings advanced to play the Mid-American Nazarene Pioneers at home on November 7th. The Missouri Valley College women's soccer team earned an automatic trip to the conference quarterfinals with its 4th place finish in the regular season. The Vikings' quarterfinal opponent was the Granby Vikings, the team Valley defeated to close its regular season on October 27, a game that NBC won 2-0. Hosting the Vikings for the 2nd consecutive weekend, Granby took the lead in the 14th minute on a breakaway goal by Sidney Bertram. That held up until the 59th Amador tied the game at 1. It's Amador's 12th goal of the year. The game stayed tied through the rest of regulation, but the Vikings had a chance with about 30 seconds remaining when Valentina Cardoso's shot went just wide of the goal. Neither team could score in the 2 overtimes, so it moved to kicks. Both teams made the first kick, but Grandview's second attempt went straight to the goalie Summer Boutte. Valley went up 2-1 on kicks on Ana Bejarano's shot, and the Vikings sealed it with the fourth made kick, the final one by Laura Castaño. Valley advances on kicks 4-2 and travels to play number 1 seed Benedictine on November 4th. KMVC's Drake Higgins reports that with the win, the Vikings are casting an eye toward the national tournament.
Summer Boudet says the team is 11-5-1 and is on track to another successful season.
So we're 4th in the conference. I mean, we had a couple losses, but to come out with 11 wins is really big. And then we tied Benedictine, who's like top 5 in the nation. So
Boudet says making the national tournament is definitely a possibility.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's a possibility. We have a good team. We have a deep bench. We have a good squad, and we're excited to go to Atchison.
Drew Hawkins says one of this year's team goals was to compete in the conference championship.
The team goals for this year, with a lot of players returning and a lot of girls coming back, was to compete for a conference championship and give ourselves a chance at the end of the year to be in a good seeding in the conference tournament. Hawkins says they've had a very tough schedule this year. The girls have played good. We've played top 10 schedule in the RPI for the NAI, so we played, basically a top 10 schedule in all the NAI.
California says this is her last season and wants to compete in the national tournament.
Well, first off, I want to make it to nationals. This is my last go around. This is the last time I'm ever going to be on the field, so of course that's going to be my ultimate goal.
Drake Higgins, KMVC News.
The women's soccer team takes on Benedictine College in the Hart semifinals on November 6. The two teams tied 1-1 on homecoming night in October. The basketball season is back on campus again, as the Missouri Valley College men's basketball team opened their season with a win, a season that might be slightly different for the Vikings.
The Missouri Valley College men's basketball team started the regular season early this year as a result of Avila University leaving the Heart of America Athletic Conference, which affected the schedule of the Vikings and the other conference teams. Chad Lance, men's basketball head coach, says that they are trying to prepare for this unique situation.
With a short non-conference schedule, everything gets heightened, so preparation, more things get put in, and these preseason games have always been important, but they definitely have a huger importance right now.
After Thursday game, the Vikings only have 3 more non-conference games before their first conference matchup, but the schedule has not only changed date-wise, but also in the amount of games they will have to play this season. However, Lance said that the situation is the same for all the teams in the conference.
24 conference games is a boatload. It takes a grind on your body, both mentally and physically. I think the scouting report and the game preparation definitely takes a toll on you. But everybody's going to have to do it. So the team that recovers the best and makes the most adjustments will be the better team in the conference this year.
For Lance, the expectations are to be better than the previous year, in which the Vikings finished with a 17-14 record.
The men's basketball team is in action again November 7 when it faces William Woods University in a non-conference game. Conference play begins November 14 with a road game against Benedictine. Trick-or-treating is a candy tradition during Halloween, but for the Missouri Valley College men's wrestling team, trick-or-treating is a time to help those in need. KMVC's Alex Perez reports on the program's annual Cans for Kids donation drive.
The Missouri Valley College men's wrestling team began its 8th year Can for Kids Halloween night tradition. The team splits into groups and patrols the neighborhood looking for Marshall residents who want to give out any canned goods to help those that are less fortunate. Head coach Mike Buckle says this tradition means a lot to the program.
Well, I think this strikes home for some of them. Not all the kids here at Missouri Valley are as fortunate as everybody else, and some kids have less than others, and they've maybe lived that life. So they don't mind at all going out and helping.
The team set a new record for items received, collecting nearly 2,500 donated items. Tyler Crow's group was the winning group, gathering 417 cans. He says the team feels satisfied going around and trying to make a difference in people's lives.
It's huge for us. We're giving back to the community, which is awesome for us. Like me personally, I'm an education major, so it's huge for me. I know a lot of kids in this school district that they need it. So it's great for us as wrestlers to get out there and help the community as much as we can.
You know, the first year we had people calling the police on us because they thought as much college kids just out there trying to collect food for themselves, and now they realize, oh, this is a wrestling team. They're coming around anytime, to pick this up.
Marco says, as long as he's around, this tradition will continue. Alex Press, KMVC News.
The goal was to collect 2,000 items. The previous record was a little more than 2,300 cans in 2015. The wrestling team opens its season at Baker University on November 11th. The residents of Marshall and Missouri Valley students now can have a taste of Japan in town. KMVC's Shane Clary reports on the hibachi restaurant that's found a permanent home.
What started as a food truck service in the early spring of the year has now landed itself a new home. Kazuku Teppanyaki Hibachi Express replaced a Los Tres Amigos establishment. Students say they like the new addition to Marshall.
I had it at the food truck when it pulled up near the Pillars for the first time, and I never had that type of food before, and it was an amazing experience. It was good to get out there. Then all the restaurants that we had here are kind of plain, but
some students have had the chance to have fresh sushi from other countries, but they say the hibachi here is very comparable and close to the top.
Yeah, when I went to Spain, I had good sushi before at a 5-star restaurant, and this is definitely comparable to a 5-star restaurant. Something different they put in the community. Now other restaurants have more competition now.
Kazuku also offers takeout and delivery for Marshall. The owner says that he hopes to bring fresh products such as meat and sushi to the community and also bring a little taste of Japan. Shane Clary, KMVC News.
That's KMVC News for this week. Thanks for watching. I am Santiago Salazar.